is having a good one. Sorry I couldn't make it on Friday. Mercury retrograde just really decided to mess with me this time around. And my modem kept overheating and then it would kick me offline, and I didn't want to risk only relying on my mobile data on my phone, just because sometimes, you don't have the best reception, and I didn't want things freezing and all of that. So I hope everybody is having a good one. Oh my gosh, today was like a drama freaking city. I was talking in my Patreon podcast this morning about how, that all the girls want to beef with each other and they need to calm down because it's taking the focus off the music. And then here comes everybody fighting with each other all over again. Hey, Princess, how are you? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you guys are actually choosing Kendall first. I thought you guys would pick her last because she always seems like the boring one. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Ashley. Hey, AB. How are you guys? And if anybody is joining us that has not subscribed yet, please do so, because then you can see my community tab post, which is where I always post when I do a sale. And since the veil is thinner, and I have been doing mediumship readings for clients again for a few months, but not everybody knew about that. I was like, let's do some medium readings this month. So if you want to book one, it's $45 off with code MEDIUM. Listen, there's so many of them, and I ran out of like options to put on the poll. They only let me put up those ones. I was not forgetting about Rob. Hey, Destiny, how are you? So I was just like, oh my gosh, trying to, what the heck? I mean, can we just for a second, because this is going to be about the Kardashians, but while everybody is joining, are we going to start admitting that Cardi is a bully too? Because everybody constantly always wants to make it that, Nikki supposedly is the mean girl that can't get along with other females, which Nikki's collaborated with females always. I don't know where that stupid thing came from. But every single time, who's always throwing shots and starting shit? Cardi, right? And that was today, at least from what I saw, because some of the blogs, I think they were posting things out of order. I was trying to keep up. I think I missed some of it, but who did start it? Was it JT or was it Cardi? Because I just saw, like, all of a sudden, Cardi was throwing shots at JT, and then JT's like, my app button works, and tagged her, and they just started going off even harder. And now, everybody was changing their profile pictures. I thought that was funny, though, that Nikki did put the little pen up. Listen, I told everybody months back, Princess, on my Patreon, that blog is not for Nikki. He was at Cardi's birthday party and never posted about it or wanted people to know. And then ever since then, things started getting real different on that page. So, and I don't always agree with everything that Nikki does and says, and sometimes I do get disappointed in her, but at the same time, you cannot agree with everything that somebody does, and you don't have to go be besties with their ops. Like, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh my God, Carlos is amazing, just because I didn't like how Nikki was flipping out on people on Queen Radio or any of that stuff. So it's just, that's what's annoying when people, want to be flip-floppers like that. Hey, Sienna. Well, and this is the thing, too. Everybody was getting mad because Raleigh called Hennessy a beer can. And they're like, she's so biased and this and that. And I'm like, what about all the other blogs? Like, I don't see people, like, pointing that out because it seems like all the blogs kind of have their favorites or the ones that they're on payroll with or whatever. And I'm just going to say this too. Congratulations, but at the same time, my apologies to you, Glorilla, because I guarantee she did not make a single dime off of this song because so much payola went into this. So much. If you guys look up the stats, it was like, oh, they got supposedly, like 5 million views, or whatever on the video, but yet only 200 of those came from out of the States. That's obviously bot farms. Or if all of your views came from somewhere like Indonesia. But really, nobody outside of the United States heard this song or watched the video. Didn't he do that with Akbar the other day when her and Cardi were going at it? Sorry, I always call her Carlos in my Patreon, so it's really hard for me to remember to call her Cardi. So if I say Carlos, I'm talking about Cardi. We know that. But wasn't he doing that too the other day? Like he was posting some of the clips, or not clips, but screenshots of like tweets that Nicki was putting out that had absolutely nothing the fuck to do with what was going on between Akbar and Carlos. And then that's when Nicki went in and started telling him off. Cause I was just like, that's why I stopped looking at that page when anything comes up, when it has to do with Cardi, Nicki, anything. I go to every other blog to go see what's going on. And usually the smaller blogs like Block Topics, Got the Scoop, they usually post stuff first anyways. And they post everything, so I usually end up going to the smaller blogs if they're posting about stuff, just because they will give a little bit more of the whole story or not be so biased or take sides. So, of course they're going to fall out. Look at how many times Cardi's fallen out with the other person whose name we don't want to say. The flea. How many times has she fallen out with him and then they got back together again? So she can't keep a friend to save her life. And before we get into any of the Kardashian stuff, listen, this is just what I'm going to say about Kanye and what he did today, and then I'm leaving it at that because I got cramps. And I took some more Advil, but it didn't kick in yet, so I don't have the patience. So really get into this. But while Kanye is my favorite artist, and a lot of times he is very misunderstood, and I do defend him a lot, I cannot defend him wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. I know he was doing it to troll Adidas and Gap and prove whatever little point that he thought he was making, because, what was it, John Paul II was on the front of his shirt, and it was supposed to be about building bridges, and then he's also trolling Gap and Adidas because all their board members were white. But he needs to find better ways to make his points. Make a speech. Have somebody in your camp write it for you and read it from a piece of paper so that it makes sense if that's what you have to do. But I am not defending or co-signing him wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. I think that was bullshit. I'm not happy that he did that. And I didn't, Candace Owens, sometimes she speaks the truth, but I don't co-sign or agree with her as a person and everything that she does either. So if I'm not standing by Kanye on this one. I'm not defending it. He needs to learn a lesson. I mean, literally, you're ruled by Mercury. Learn how to communicate properly, Kanye, because it's exhausting. So, anyways, but that's all I want to say about that right now. I'm just saying, I'm not defending this. I'm not co-signing it because somebody asked me if I was. I was like, why would I co-sign that? I always say, if Kanye does something wrong, I will hold him accountable too. I don't agree with this. So, I'm not a kiss ass. Alrighty, so let me pull this thing down and see. Okay, now you guys want, it's a tie between Khloe and Kylie. So put your vote in, because I'm like, who are we starting with over here first? And have you guys been watching the show on Hulu? I heard it is boring the house. I have not, because I don't want to encourage Hulu to keep promoting I mean, I never watched their show in the first place. I've just seen clips of it, and I tried to watch a couple older episodes, and I was like, I don't get what was so like entertaining about this. But I just wanted to vote in the poll, please, babe, because I'm going off of the numbers in the poll. But just like the freaking the trailers and the little previews and stuff that I see, like, it doesn't look like anything that's that exciting or interesting that I'm like, I would want to go waste half an hour of my time watching it, or I don't even know how long the damn show is. But I just saw that they were trying to be like, Khloe got a brain scan and it proves she has trauma or whatever. It was like, oh, really? Okay. She did that to herself, so I don't feel bad for her. Alrighty, so same rules as always, guys. Stay on topic while we are reading about one person. Keep the questions and comments to them so that we don't give me a migraine. And we stay on topic because, you know, there are some people in our communities who are neurodivergent, and when we're all off topic, it makes it hard for them to follow along. And you want to make sure that if you have a question, you want to make sure it gets answered, you can send a super chat or a super sticker. Put question in front of it so that way I know it's a question if you are just dropping a question. So, Khloe. Where are we starting with Khloe? Oh, well, thank you. Oh, and you guys, Patreon has finally changed. Thank God. I have literally been begging them to do this since I joined and realized that this is how they run it. So before, previously on Patreon, even if, say, you joined on October 31st, they always charge again on the 1st for the memberships because it's a monthly membership. But they have now updated that, and they charge you for your monthly membership on the date you join. So if you join on the 15th of October, you will get charged again on the 15th of November instead of again on the 1st. So you don't have to worry about waiting until the beginning of the month to join the Patreon anymore, guys. Every time they send out little questionnaires to the creators, like, oh, what do you guys want us to change? I'm like, please this. Like, that's the only thing that I'm consistently suggesting to them, along with being able to directly upload stuff and not have to do links. So, okay, so let's see. Is her and Tristan still together behind the scenes? That's something that I was going to ask too, if they're still, or if she's trying to give him another chance, because either Beyonce just has a very wicked, twisted sense of humor, and that's why they were both at her party, or it's because, you know, it was date night and it was just, let's see. Let's focus on Khloe Kardashian and her relationship with Tristan Thompson. Thank you. Princess, please stay on topic, babe. Okay. So, let's see. Jesus fucking Christ. The first 3 freaking cards I pulled out, she still wants to work on things and have a freaking family with this man. 8 of Wands, 6 of Cups. Girl, what the ever-loving F is wrong with you? Like, Kris Jenner really did a fucking number on you as a mother. Because, and this is, I said this in my Patreon the other day. Yeah, we're doing Khloe first because she won. Let me end the poll so that way you can just keep those numbers up. My God. But I was saying this the other day. Like, if I was a mother and I see we are, I told everybody to make sure to vote because it was a tie between Khloe and Kendall. So everybody chose Khloe first. So, but this is the thing that I was saying. As a mother, you know, and you see, okay, my child is stuck in this toxic ass relationship and none of us can do anything to get her out of it because she doesn't want to listen. At the very least, be like, listen, let's not put this on the show anymore and maybe keep it behind the scenes and not publicly be with this person for a minute and just see if he can last an entire 6 months without getting caught with his tongue in another girl's mouth before before you get to the point of, you know, public declarations of we got back together, because all he does is ever embarrass her again. And it's like, okay, but I mean, this is Kris Jenner. She's like, yes, let's put it on TV. And on top of that, let's send you to a psychiatrist for a brain scan, Khloe, because that'll just help thee. Like, she's a very sick, twisted person, the way she exploits her children. So, let's see. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, right now, to be honest with you guys, like, what's coming up is Khloe's already, you know, gotten over and gotten past this. He had a baby with somebody else behind my back thing. She's more pissed that this became such a public scandal and that now it's like, oh, I painted myself into a corner, so of course I look like a fucking fool if I go and trot Tristan back out again. But they're still hooking up. I don't get that they're fully in a relationship again, but they are still hooking up. He still has a ton of other girls around him. Again, I've told you guys this before. Tristan uses this girl because he wants to get his own show. He's trying to figure out, what is my life after basketball? So he's just going to keep going back and entertaining the mess because he knows it's putting me in front of all these people and it's going to help me when I'm ready, you know, and I want something. It's like, I'm going to call the same producers that work on your show and be like, I want a show too, and then they're going to give him a show. That's what he thinks. This man has no love for Khloe. It's that she's easy because what does she do? I'm going to cry, probably on confessional on the show. I'm going to say, can't believe you did this to me again. Then I'm going to act like I'm so strong because I forgave you. Then you're going to tell me you're sorry and that you went to therapy and buy me a piece of jewelry and everything will be okay again. It's like a routine with them, and Tristan knows exactly what he needs to do to get Khloe to put her clown nose and her clown shoes back on and come back to the circus every single time. So Chloe having children with anybody else in the future, but don't be surprised if we don't get maybe 1 or 2 more surrogate babies from her and Tristan. She is just, I think that I'll tell you guys this part because I know everybody's always like, why do they always want to, or they're so obsessed with, all my kids have to come from the same dad, regardless of how shitty the relationship was or wasn't. And because of that, it's for Chloe's sake, I never got to know who my real dad was, and there's so many questions around it. And there might be multiple dads for me and my own siblings, more than just, Rob and Bruce. Now Caitlin, the way that we all see it as. And so I feel like for her, that's like her trauma that she holds on to. And it's just like, at least I can make sure my kids know who their dad is if it's all the same guy or something weird like that. That's what Spirit's saying as to why she's so stuck on wanting to have all of her kids with the same person. And since they already went to the trouble of creating embryos and freezing them in order to do that transfer, Spirit said Chloe will probably, go hire a surrogate to carry at least one more of those embryos for her, but I don't see her having any more kids with anybody else. And honestly, don't be surprised if it doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. Chloe had another baby. And it's like, wait, when? And because I do feel like, she'll get a lot of shit because she obviously got a lot of shit this time. And so it's like, I have to keep it under wraps. But me and Tristan had another kid, and then, she'll pop back out afterwards. We had another baby. Hoping that enough time has passed that Tristan hasn't got caught cheating again. Everybody's going to be like, girl, what is wrong with you? So, oh, hey, LOL. I'm glad you got to make it. So, what other questions do we have about Chloe? Because we talked on the Cheaters pod live a lot about her and Tristan anyways. So, let me ask this last one. Please tell me, is Chloe ever going to move on from Tristan and find somebody that actually loves and cares about her? Thank you. And again, a reminder, you guys, as much as everybody wants to be like, Lamar still loves Chloe, she should give him another chance. Dude, he dogged her out and cheated on her too, so. Oh, so anyways, let's see. I didn't do anything, guys, because I was literally shuffling the cards, and I don't think any of my mods are in here. So just put it back up, Princess. I didn't touch anything, so I don't know what happened with that. I thought you guys deleted that. I was like, why'd you delete that? I was going to come back to that question in a minute. I wanted to just see, is Chloe ever going to freaking get her head out of her ass and move on? Oh, okay. You know what? I don't like big phones anyways. This is why I never wanted like the iPhone Pluses or whatever that they have, but I had no choice when I was getting my last phone. I think it's like the 13 Pro Max or something, because I wanted to have, the better camera and then obviously more storage because I was always running out of storage. But my hands are little anyways, so it always makes it so hard for me to even be able to find tarot cards that I can shuffle. Dude, I hit like the side with the side of my hand or my thumb just carrying the damn phone sometimes, and then I'm like, what did I type? What did I accidentally erase? I've texted people back. So I'm like, what? I'm still not used to it. I got this phone in like February and I still accidentally delete shit or type the wrong things all the time because my hands, hit the sides or whatever. So it happens. And yes, Mercury retrograde officially ended today, but we still have the post shadow period for the next 2 weeks. Spirit said the post shadow won't be as intense because more of the pre and actual Mercury retrograde were, so rough and everything. And now that we're directly in Libra season and we're going direct, Mercury is in Libra, it'll ease up and be a lot better over the next couple days. Thank God. And all the rest of the planets are going direct again too, thankfully, because them retrograde seasons be rough, man. So, but you guys, I will tell you this because I shared this in my Patreon the other day. Spirit said the rest of the end of this year is going to be even more fucking wild as far as people getting mad and exposing each other, and the fighting and the drama and all of that kind of stuff. So just be prepared. And it's mostly like, the celebrity people, not us. I mean, obviously, if you have drama, that's your own thing. Like, I don't have drama. I just talk about other people's drama all day like a typical ass Libra. So, oh my God, you guys. Okay. You know what's funny? Do you guys know what's funny? What I just literally saw in these cards right now, and Spirit's expanding on it. Kris Jenner herself has gone and done magic trying to get Khloe to leave Tristan alone. But Khloe goes behind her and goes and does all these love spells on him, which only binds her energy more to him. I thought that was interesting because I was always like, don't tell me that Kris Jenner is behind the scenes being like, yes, Khloe, get back together with Tristan and encouraging this. So I was like, oh, thank God, at least she doesn't want her with him anymore either. Because Kris has been trying to do love spells to help bring in new people for her kids, especially for Kim and Khloe, because she wants them to get some, ooh, look, Khloe's dating Brad Pitt, because then everybody's going to lose their shit and go talk about it, and then everybody's going to go watch the show to see, is Brad Pitt going to be on Keeping Up with the Kardashians dating Khloe? Like, that's the shit that Kris Jenner is doing right now, because Spirit said she's still very, very, very stressed about keeping this Hulu deal going and keeping the money rolling in. So she knows because, especially in the past, what happened? Like, when people were not watching the show anymore, they brought Kanye in, right? Kim, go start dating Kanye, even though you've always said that you didn't like him like that. That'll get everybody talking, and then everybody tuned into the show to see Kanye and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So she's trying to do that again because it's like, okay, we need fresh blood, we need new people around here, and we need new entertainment and new storylines. And it's like, yeah, season 2 is about Khloe's breakup and the Kourtney and Travis wedding. Wouldn't it be great if season 3 is about Khloe's new boyfriend, So she's trying to ramp that up for them. This is the thing, guys. Khloe's going to date somebody exactly like Tristan next. Spirit keeps talking about, it's like she has herself trapped because okay, I saw a clip from the show last year where she said that Tristan was going to therapy. Tristan, I didn't hear her. She said that she attends some of his appointments with him. Where's your therapy, Chloe? Because you're the one that needs it probably more than anybody. Because Spirit's like, it's her going after, like, she literally, it's like she has this sixth sense. You're going to cheat on me publicly and embarrass me? Oh my God, you're so attractive. I want to be with you. Like, that's like some kind of weird freaking turn on for her. And Spirit is saying because she does not work on herself, she just thinks everybody else around her is broken and she needs to help fix them, that she's going to get herself in an exact same relationship all over again. And this guy is going to have a baby on her too. He is somebody that, and everybody's going to think at first, oh my God, Chloe found her person. He wants to be a stepdad. He's getting along with the family. He seems like he really cares about her. But I also get that people who are smart enough are going to see right through it and be like, this guy seems like a fucking like smarmy, fake, phony, con man type, because there's something about him being kind of slimy, or like that's how his energy feels. So this dumbass is going to go find herself, Tristan part 2 and tie herself to that person and have the same experience all over again. Literally the cards, there's the 8 of Swords, the Queen of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. If she will go work on herself and find self-love and heal herself, she could actually find some real happiness, but she's refusing to do that. It's, let me go light some fucking voodoo candles. Let me go to a witch doctor. Let me go to my grandma, who's the head witch of the coven in our family. Let me go do anything and everything except for work on myself. I mean, we all know Chloe likes to work on her outside. She doesn't work on the inside. And if she worked on the inside, she wouldn't work on the outside so much. Oh, boy. Also, Spirit said, get ready, because we're going to hear a bunch of shit about Tristan, too, after the new year. We'll probably hear something about him before then, but I keep feeling like after the new year, like, especially as we're creeping towards spring, Spirit keeps saying that Tristan's going to get caught up in another big scandal, too. Oh, Chloe. And I was thinking about this. They're not dating. He already denied that. And she's not done with the surgeries either, guys. That's another thing that Spirit's like, not only is it a slippery slope in a, because I've heard this from a lot of people, like, say, like, you get a nose job, and it's like, okay, my nose is good, but now I don't like my eyes. And it's like, I'm always trying to chase this perfection now that I've seen that I can change things. A lot of other people, it becomes that slippery slope, because once you start doing it, if you don't keep up with it, it looks bad as it ages or drops or whatever, depending on if it's your face, your body, any of that kind of stuff. Trying to be careful how I say things, because YouTube doesn't like us talking about this stuff too much. But I don't feel her ever being completely done with them. I think she'll have a moment where she takes a break, but I don't think that she's ever going to be totally done with all of that. So, but she's not dating that guy. I mean, listen, ask people in Italy and Europe about him. You wouldn't want her dating him anyways. You probably wouldn't want anybody dating him. He's hot, but he ain't shit. Plus, I think he likes men. So, but you know what, Sienna? there's other Cancer women like Sweetie that she knew her worth and she walked away because she loved herself more and she wasn't going to sit there and put up with being cheated on and disrespected by Quavo and all of that. And I know that, Sweetie's left other dudes that cheated on her in the past too. And she's a Cancer. See, that's the difference between having self worth and self esteem and then being Chloe. Because Chloe is the true walking example, not of resilience, because I did see that clip that people were posting that she was trying to be like, I'm the poster child for resilience. I've gone through so much, and was trying to act like, I'm a freaking the survivor and shit. And it's like, girl, you are not resilient, you're stupid. And you don't love yourself, and you love somebody else more than you love yourself. And that's not being resilient. That's just you continue, and you've gone through so much trauma. You put yourself in that trauma. I don't feel bad for you. It's one thing to be like, oh my God, I'm so resilient because I survived that car accident, broke my back, learned how to walk again, and now I'm going to go run a marathon. That's what she was acting like. And it's like, girl, you can't sit there and be like, look how resilient I am that I keep going back to the same person that keeps dogging me out. Like, that's nothing. That's not an accomplishment. So let me ask how she feels about Jordan now. Because I did see, wasn't it Jordan? Isn't Jordan's little sister best friends with Travis's daughter, Alabama? Because I was just like, look at this. The Kardashians cannot escape the Woods family, can they? Like, got rid of Jordan, and look at her little sister slides back into the family. So let's see how she feels about her right now. Chloe's jealous of Jordan, you guys, because and I know that sounds crazy because, it's like obviously Jordan's younger. She doesn't really have like as much as Chloe does. She's still kind of trying to find her way in life and where her niche is and all of that. But Jordan has an obviously happy relationship with a man who obviously very much loves her. And she seems like she's moved on and healed and, came up. And to be honest for a second, like Spirit's saying, she's jealous of Jordan. Like, how can you just heal and move on and glow up? Like, I can't figure out how to do that. Which is like, Chloe, it's called go fucking have them dissolve those damn love spells because you just have your energy so tied to Tristan. I think for people who do magic all the time, they would understand that. But somehow that part of things seems to be missing when it comes to how they operate. But she didn't expect that Jordan was going to come out the way she did. She really thought Jordan's life was going to be ruined. So she was mad for a while because everybody was taking Jordan's side. Remember, we had the whole Chloe's the victim season when that happened. And since that didn't work out like she had thought, it's just like, oh, like I didn't think that she was going to thrive and survive the way that she has. But now it's like, oh, she seems really happy and I'm jealous of that. Like, she literally feels like whatever, and she thinks that Jordan, like, oh, because you ran to the Smiths, when she went on the Red Table Talk. Chloe's like, maybe they did something in Hollywood, and that's what opened up all the doors for her. It's like she still tries to tell herself in her head, though, oh, it's because she slept with somebody. Oh, it's because she's friends with Will and Jada. Oh, it's because she doesn't want to give Jordan any credit, though, because there is that jealousy there. But she's very jealous of Jordan. So, but Lindsay, you know what? I should have said Travis Barker. I always forget that there is a Travis Scott. I do know that him and A$AP Rocky are different people, okay? So give me credit for that. It's just that we never see Travis Scott. So I always forget that he even exists. So, okay. And then let's wrap this up and move on to Kendall. Or wait, you guys wanted Kylie first, right? Next. So we'll look at Kylie next and then Kendall after that. Jordan is very pretty. I always thought Jordan was really pretty too. Just, the thing is that Jordan seems like she's kind of more of one of those like she's not loud and in your face and like, oh my God, I need all this, attention the way that the rest of the family was. She's just not a super confrontational person anyways. So, but again, at the end of the day, like I always said, she said there was no consent in that. She was drinking. She was younger. Tristan took advantage. I consider that to be assault, so that's what they get. I mean, he deserves all the karma for that, and I'm glad that Jordan leveled up on all of them. Because they bullied that poor girl so bad. So, all right. So just wait, you guys, before we move on. Let me finish up this last Chloe question, and then you can start asking your Kylie questions. What is it that Chloe cares the most about? Is it public perception, or is it Tristan? Thank you. Okay. First thing, I might even pull cards on this because Spirit's just talking. As much as, hold your Kylie questions, guys, until I said that we're moved on to her. As much as, they want to act like, oh, every guy in the world wants to be with a Kardashian, and oh my gosh, Kim's going to have people lined up down the block wanting to date her after her and Kanye broke up. First of all, her whole Pete thing was a PR stunt anyways. It wasn't a real relationship. And if that's the best that you can do is to pay Pete Davidson to be in a contract relationship with you, then you already know nobody is lining up down the block to date any of these people. And Spirit is saying guys will want to sleep with them just to see what it's like, because it's like, ooh, let me see, is Chloe really wild in bed, or, does Kim's body completely feel like plastic, or, it's like the curiosity or the whole, like, yeah, that'd be cool or fun, or just to say I did it, but nobody's trying to be serious with any of them. And Spirit saying a big part of Chloe continuing to hold on to Tristan is because she truly does not feel like she can find anybody better. Because every time that she does be single for 5 seconds and tries to stop, tries to move on from him, then what happens? You take a bunch of pictures with somebody at Fashion Week, and then they go out of their way to let the whole entire world know that you are not dating. Because the way that he put it was like, ew, gross, almost. Things like that happen. That's why she holds on to Tristan so much too, because she doesn't feel like she has any other options, or that he's the best one that's come along so far. Spirit is saying she gets really pissed off at the world. How dare you guys judge me for forgiving him again? But it's only because, listen, I've said this a million times. When you know that you're doing something wrong, sometimes people will get so fucking mad or go out of their way to be like, screw all of you. Look, I knew what I was doing. This was the right situation. We are so happy, and want to just hammer it in and shove it down your face that they're supposedly like the happiest people in the world, when deep down inside they know I fucked up, but I don't want to admit it. I don't want to take accountability, and I don't want to hear I told you so. That's Chloe's thing. I want to do whatever I want, even though I know it's wrong, even though I know it's stupid, even though I know he's still going to dog me out again. He's still going to, fuck me over again. I'm still going to end up holding the bag looking stupid. But how dare you guys judge me and get mad at me about that, or have an opinion, or say anything, because Chloe literally cares way too much about what everybody else thinks about her. And it's just crazy when you think about it, because when the whole thing started with them, wasn't she supposed to be the confident one? I'm not putting up with that shit. I would never go back to a cheater. Fuck guys that want to be disrespectful. Who cares what people say about you, Kim? Get over yourself. And now Chloe is the one that's fucking crying on freaking TV because she knows people are going to judge her for going to have another baby with Tristan after all of this. And I was listening to somebody doing a breakdown of the, show earlier. I think it was April Butcher. I was driving on the way to school and it started playing, so I didn't catch who it was, but I think it was her because I remember her voice. And basically she was saying, that like, because people were pointing out time frames of, well, this doesn't make sense, or you guys filmed this or that part claiming that it was before Christmas, but Kim did a photo shoot and that was actually in February, or, so everybody was piecing things together about how fake it is. So what Spirit's saying is, this time around, well, what the girl was saying was this time around, like, they kept trying to, like, make it, like, Chloe didn't know. Chloe only found out on social media with the rest of us, and, like, they kept harping on that. Spirit's already said that she knew. I mean, we talked about this the last live that I did where we talked about them. She knew. She just was hoping that it was going to turn out not to be Tristan's. And it was like, fuck that, I'm still having my kid, I don't care. And then obviously everything came out, and so then she had to face it publicly. But she already knew this was going on. So she chose to still go back and get an embryo implanted a month before this baby was being born, because I saw a clip where she said, oh yeah, Tristan knew in July. No, Chloe, you also knew in July. You were just lying and trying to cover your ass because you knew everybody was going to drag you with. Why would you go and have a surrogate baby with this man a month before he has a child with somebody else? So it's just, she wants to keep going back. So that's her problem. That's her fault. But they're trying to cover it up and make it look less bad now. It's not less bad. You knew. You knew what was going on, and you still wanted to go back. Yep, she's a goofy. You can't feel bad for her anymore. So, okay, you guys, let's move on to Kylie. What are the questions there? I don't think Chloe's giving Tristan money now. Spirit said that's not something that's even been an issue in their relationship, like finances or anything. That's like the only thing that hasn't been a problem for them. It's just that, Tristan knows because look at how many kids does he have to support now? He has what, 4 or 5? Hold on. How many kids does he have? He has 2 with Chloe. Then the little boy that he just had with Marley Nichols. And then he has the oldest son. And I swear Kimberly Alexander's kid is his. They just were lucky that they were able to mess with those DNA tests. But it's like he's got 4 kids to support. And from what I always read online, it seems like he's a bench warmer and doesn't really do that great of a job as a basketball player. And everybody he told that girl in those Black Jesus Snapchat messages that he was not get signed anymore and have to retire, that she was going to try to squeeze money out of a rock or something. So, he's preparing for the future, but Spirit said she's, he's okay financially right now. So let's move on to Kylie. So people are saying that her and Travis Scott broke up. Let's see. And you guys put question in front of it so I know that it's a question. If you want to make sure your question gets answered, you can send a super chat or a super sticker. So let's see. Kylie and Travis Scott. What is going on there? Okay. Well, from the way that he feels about their relationship, their friends will benefit. And it's coming up that he likes the access, the lifestyle, the benefits, and the money that being around Kylie brings him. Because even though she's not really the billionaire, they still have a lot of money. And on top of it, because there is that perception that Kylie is supposedly a billionaire, then everybody always wants to get on her good side. Oh, here's a free trip to Maui. Here's this, here's that. She gets more stuff than he does. So it's like, oh, I like the fringe benefit of being seen as your baby daddy. But let's see. Okay, so do you guys remember how there was that magazine that they ended up pulling because of the whole Astroworld incident, and they'd done a whole family photo shoot, but then the article that got leaked with it was saying Kylie and Travis are having a modern family where they're not together but choosing to have children and raise them together, or some weird thing like that. And then Chloe tried to be like, I don't know why they would say that. They are together. And then everybody started being like, why would you have a kid? Other kid, if you guys are in a situationship or friends with benefits or whatever, that's weird. But he's doing what Spirit's saying is what a lot of guys do. You pick a girl that she's going to be a good mom. She has a good family that's going to help support and help raise these kids. She's got more money than me. So, she's good enough to have your kids with and raise and help raise them. But it's I don't want to get married to you. I don't want to tie myself to you for the rest of my life. I don't see you as the girl that I'm madly in love with, and that's basically how he feels about her. You're a good mom and you're a good baby mama, and like we can have fun, but they don't live together. He goes over, I mean, he'll spend time there and stuff, but Spirit's saying they don't live together. They do still square around and everything. Kylie's always hoping that they'll get back together. Um, Travis has got tons of other girls around him, of course. That young sweet row person, he's still messing with her. Because it's talking about, like, literally, okay, first, every cheating card, like, got pulled in this. All of the threes, three of wands, three of pentacles, three of cups. Kylie's also been trying to do some magic to make this relationship move forwards, to try to keep him from cheating, keep the fights at bay, and keep them together, because she does want to marry him and be with him because of them having kids together. Sometime next year, they're going to break up for good. Because honestly, I keep getting that Travis wants to just go out and live his life without like this ball and chain around him, because right now it's like, whatever, we just had a kid. I don't care. I don't really have anything to promote. I'm still trying to kind of like rebuild after this like huge, disaster happened. There's something about next year, him wanting to be able to pop out with his hoes. I want to go be public with the girls that I am screwing around with. I want to go date somebody else that's famous. I don't want to only be tied to Kylie. So it's like, I have to make the world know we broke up for good, even though they already are kind of broken up, like I said. It's like a situationship. But there's something about, there's a lot of girls that don't mess with me because they think I'm with Kylie still and that we are in a committed, serious relationship. So I need the world to know that's off the table so that I can have my options open to have a hot boy summer next year. So that's basically what their relationship is like. But this is the thing, Kylie's cheated on him too. They both cheat on each other. Kylie's not completely like Little Miss Innocent, is what Spirit's saying, because there's, been a couple times that she stepped out, and some of it, like, she made sure, like, oh, you knew I was hanging out with Drake because I know that's going to piss you off, so you'll come running back to me. And she made it seem like all we did was hang out. But no, you really screwed him. Because she needed to do that for herself. Like, it's Spirit saying, it's like Kylie's on that. Okay, you cheat, I'm going to cheat back. I may not tell you about it. It's for my own good. It's for me to feel like, well, I did something, so you're not the only bad person here. God, these people are so screwed up. Just leave. That's why I'm like, Kris Jenner was like the worst mother ever. All her kids like have fucking depression and anxiety, plastic surgery addictions, and are caught up in these horrible toxic relationships with people all the time. Like, what the fuck did she do to those kids? Leo women will go through a lot for a man sometimes when they're unbalanced. But at the end of the day, honestly, like all the stuff that, the problems that the Kardashian Jenner kids have, again, it goes back to their parents and how they were raised. You can blame zodiac signs all day long, but there's a million other Leos, Cancers, Libras, Scorpios, whoever, that don't do that stuff. It's the Kardashians and their fucked up lives. So let's see. Spirit's saying that the second baby is Travis's. There's no way that Kylie would, like, Kylie knows I could turn Stormy on you, but I can't get away with it a second time. And did you guys know that there was a check involved in getting him to claim Stormy as his? Because Spirit keeps saying there is no contract and a check that was exchanged for him to claim that child because they did not want Tyga to be able to have half custody or have Kylie tied to Tyga of, okay, well, they broke up, but they're having a baby or any of that. So he got paid off to say, okay. Remember, you guys, did you see, again, I didn't watch the show, but I saw this clip everywhere when Kanye brought Kim that bag and said it was the laptop with the other tapes in it or whatever it was that Ray J gave him. And Chris said you must have wrote a really big check, and he said we're not extorting people anymore. Spirit saying there was something like subliminal about that conversation where Kanye was basically letting her know, I know you pay people off. And he really was meaning, I know you paid Travis off. Yes, Travis was with Kendall before Kylie. So, I don't read on little kids' mango, so I'm not even gonna. Just pray for them. That's all I can say. Pray for them. I mean, there's a reason why Kanye was freaking out, not wanting his kids in that family. And again, I don't agree with anything that Kanye did today, but as a parent, I can understand, especially after all the readings that we've done on these people, why, as a parent, you would be concerned. Do you know how many dudes have slept with like half of those girls, though? I mean, the game said that um, what do you call, slept with half of them or four of them or something like that. And then Travis Barker used to have a crush on Kim. And I think he did date. Well, I know they did because remember Shanna said that she threw a drink in Kim's face at a club and got kicked out because she knew that Kim was sleeping with Travis. And that was a big part of the reason why they split up, like why their marriage ended. And now Courtney's married to him. I'm like, that's so gross. If you even sat too close to one of my family members on a bus one time, stay the fuck away from me. I don't want to date you. That's too close for comfort. Like, all I would be thinking is, are you comparing me and my sister and deciding which one of us is better? Like, that's so weird. That's so weird. Why would you want a guy that, even if they didn't hook up, even if they didn't date, even if it was just, the way that people tried to paint the Kim and Travis situation of he just had a crush on her and thought she was hot? That's still, I don't want to date you. You used to have a crush on my sister. No, thank you. But these are the people who pose in their underwear together with their hands down each other's pants to promote Skims and makeup. So incest is the best according to them, right? So they probably were having threesomes and they just forgot to mention that, these guys slept with both of them at the same time. So, because let me tell you guys something real quick. Okay. I will. No, I'm not going to get into it right now just because I do have to get off here at some point. But I will just say this. Supposedly, that other tape, remember on the show, like Kim was crying and saying that like something of Courtney's got stolen and they were trying to sell it to magazines. But then they came back and said, like, oh, like they were in high school, so they were underage, so technically it's CP. I think it was Reggie Wright. It was somebody that used to be friends with Damon Thomas, and they said this on the Art of Dialogue, that it was Damon Thomas that had that stuff, and it was actually a sex tape of him having not him, but somebody else having a threesome with Kim and Courtney at the same time. And Kim's ex-husband is the one that had it, and then somebody took it from him and was trying to go sell it to these magazines. Because Reggie, I think it was Reggie that said it. He said, Reggie Wright Jr., He's always on the Art of Dialogue and Vlad TV, and he has his own channel. But because he was friends with Damon Thomas, and he was saying that Damon Thomas told Kim's dad, because they were trying to, like Kim and Chris were trying to extort him and basically be like, you have to give Kim $1 million in alimony and all this stuff when they'd only been married for like 2 years anyways, and wanted half of his publishing rights. Like, they were ready to screw this guy over in court, and they were claiming that he'd put his hands on Kim to try to force the settlement. And Reggie said, that Damon took that tape to Kim and Courtney's dad and was like, I have this, I'll release it, make your daughter leave me alone. And that was how he got his divorce, and only ended up giving her like $50,000 or something. So way too many tapes. And the fact that like their parents always seem to somehow have some involvement in these tapes. And then you think about how like fucked up all these kids are. And let me tell you, there was some rumors back in the day that Rob Sr. liked to videotape himself a little dalliance, especially during him and Chris's swinger days. So they got it from somewhere. I mean, Ray J said your mom watched the tapes to figure out which one you looked the best in. That's nasty. I don't even want to unpack that. So, all right, guys, what other Kylie questions do we have? Because I got to start wrapping it up, because I do have to still call somebody for a reading, and they're going to be really mad at me if I like, sorry, called you an hour late. We were gossiping about the Kardashians of all people. Oh, yeah. So how is her and Jordan Woods now? And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, Spirit told me to hold off on Kim and Chris and do a separate video for them, because they have a lot of shit to talk about, and I'm just not going to have all the time to do it tonight. But they're saying like it'll take a while anyways. Like, we'd probably be on here for hours. So we'll finish up Kylie and then do Kendall real quick, and then I'll do separate readings on Kim and Chris another day, or maybe I'll do another live on them if I have time. Okay. So stay on topic. We're talking about Kylie right now, and then we'll talk about Kendall. So let's see. We're looking at her and Jordan. Kylie wants to be friends with Jordan again, but her family will not let her. Because it's this whole thing of, look at, we're going to look like fools. It looks bad to the public. Even though, like, I don't see how that looks bad to the public. Especially when you guys, it's like we've all collectively decided that Jordan didn't deserve that and that Tristan is trash. Like, people would honestly probably be happy that they did start being friends again. Or people would be like, no, Jordan, you finally got away from them. Don't go back. But I don't see Kylie getting dragged for that. But for some reason, Chris and Chloe have made it abundantly clear to Kylie, we don't want you bringing Jordan back around, at least not right now. She still cries about this, you guys. She really, really, really loved Jordan as her friend, and she really, 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 really misses her. They talk here and there sometimes, but to be honest with you, it's Kylie reaching out. I don't feel like Jordan is really like all that interested in being friends with Kylie again. And just because it's like, you didn't stand up for me, you didn't do a lot for me, and now you want to come back like years later after everything's happened with Tristan again and again and again. And try to make amends and try to rebuild this friendship. And it's like she's happy for Kylie. She loves Kylie, but she doesn't feel like things could ever be the same or she could ever trust her again. So it's really Jordan is the one that's holding off and holding back because she just believes being friends with you isn't going to do anything good for me. But it did really break both of their hearts. They really, really, both of them were really depressed and really sad. It's like Spirit saying like they experienced a level of heartbreak that, is the same as people who've been married for 20 years and get a divorce and they don't want to. Like it was really hard for both of them. I don't feel like Jordan still like is sad over it, but Kylie still is a lot. So let's see. Let's ask real quick. I mean, Kylie and Stassi's relationship is what it is. It's very superficial. It's not as deep or as connected. It's not, Kylie's not, oh my God, I trust you with all my deepest, darkest thoughts and feelings the same way that I did with Jordan. I feel Kylie being more careful with Stassi. It's just that, and Kylie has a feeling, like, yeah, it's a benefit for Stassi to be my friend and be around me. It helps her. So it's, she's not, Kylie doesn't like being alone though. That's her big problem. It's funny because everybody's always like, oh, Kylie's off doing her own thing, doesn't hang out with her family, but Kylie's never alone. She always has a gaggle of friends over or, whatever. And so it's just one of those things where it's like, I keep you around because I don't want to be lonely and I do enjoy your company, but I don't fully like consider you to be like my best friends the way that me and Jordan were. I don't think Kylie's ever going to be that like close to friends again with anybody ever again. So let's see. Kylie Cosmetics is suffering, you guys. It's not doing well. And Kylie Baby, Kylie Skin, like none of her companies are doing that great, says Spirit. I mean, she still sells products, don't get me wrong, but if Cody was really looking for a return on their investment, they will never see it. They got bamboozled and taken for a very long ride because she's not doing near any of that turnover. But this is the thing where you can always tell how much people are faking shit anyways. When you didn't have your products in stores, you would sell out in a flash. Now all of a sudden that you're in stores, your shit's always going on clearance because it doesn't sell. That's telling you, okay, yeah, we were selling, but we were only moving small amounts of units and selling out because we didn't have a whole lot to offer in the first place. I mean, that's like me, like sitting there telling you guys, had these limited edition shirts, and then the next day I'm like, oh my God, you guys bought them all out. I can't believe it. There was only 5. Of course you guys were going to buy them out. But I never put up how many there was, so everybody might be thinking I sold 5,000 shirts, right? That's the smoke and mirrors of the Kardashians, and that's why they did that the way that they did and hid everything on purpose for so long so that they could keep up the illusion that Kylie Cosmetics was doing better than it was. Because, again, if your company is worth $1 billion, why would you turn around and sell it immediately like that and sell your controlling interest in your own $1 billion company if it's really $1 billion company? You'd hold on to that for a few years and then sell it when it's worth 5 billion, 10 billion, and then be the richest ever person, right? It's because it wasn't doing good and they needed to get rid of it. Um, okay. There's definitely, I don't really get that there is like a bunch of Kylie Cosmetics lawsuits coming unless she rips off anybody else's ideas again. But Kim seems to have cornered that market these days of getting sued for copying other people's businesses and products and all of that. Um, so that's more of a Kim problem. But I do see that there's still a lot of back and forth going on behind the scenes with Cody Cosmetics. And I don't know if you guys saw, but like, and I'm not trying to get into it right now. It's just the SEC, the Securities, Stock Exchange Commission, finds Kim millions of dollars for a crypto scam, and I think Scott was included in that too. And so, because of that, I do feel like they are closing in on this family, because that's who's investigating Kylie Cosmetics and the Cody deal and all of that, because the Cody shareholders launched a complaint and asked for it to be investigated and started suing because they're like, why did we buy KKW and Kylie Cosmetics? They're not worth that. And especially, once that Forbes article came out and exposed it. So I see that they're still dealing with that behind the scenes. There's a lot of lawyers involved that we haven't heard anything about this, you guys, but Spirit saying there is lawyers involved communicating all day, every single day, going back and forth about what is going to be done, because there is a hang up here of, do we force Kylie to buy her own company back? Do we sell it? Do we try to redo everything and make it profitable? It's like they're trying to settle on how are we going to handle everything going forward, because nobody's come to any agreement, but there's a huge loss of money. Actually, and we'll get into this, when I have the time to do the Kim and Chris readings. Kim's the one that's going to get burned even more by this whole Cody situation than Kylie will, because KKW was such a flop, and what the fuck ever happened to it? Literally, we've never. What happened to KKW Cosmetics? Nothing, right? Didn't it dissolve? And I think she tried to come out with a skincare company to replace it or something. But there's something here about Kim's the one that's going to have to give back more. I feel like Cody is going to try to rebrand Kylie's and flip it into something else. Like, oh, we're going to combine Revlon and Kylie Cosmetics into one company, or something along that lines, to where it's like, we can make money if we completely go backwards and do the weirdest shit that we've ever done. But I still feel like it's going to end up going out of business at some point. I mean, all I ever see is all these stories about the fall of Kylie Cosmetics. You know how people do those breakdowns of a whole brand and how they started out so strong and then why they're failing now. I see so many videos being made about her cosmetics brand, like that, the flop, the failure, everybody's over it. I'm just like, damn, Kylie, what did you do? So She hasn't come out with a replacement yet. Because I know somebody, and I think again it was probably April Butcher, was talking about, or they found in Kim and Kanye's divorce papers, because Kanye, had his name on a bunch of Kim's businesses and he'd invested in them too. And there was something in there about KKW Cosmetics being dissolved as a brand. And so it would be done before the divorce was finalized. So it was like, okay, like we don't have to fight over that one. If I remember that right, because it was a few months back that she was talking about that, which I was just like, I already said before that KKW was going to disappear anyways. Not the name, but the brand, the makeup. Okay, so you guys, we're going to have to do a second live on Wednesday. Maybe, actually, let me check my calendar. I might be able to come live tomorrow morning, and then we'll finish up with Kendall and Kendall and Chris and Kim. Because like I said, I do have to call somebody in like 10 minutes, and I was like, I don't think we'll get through Kendall even by that point, because you guys had way more questions about these people than I thought. So either tomorrow or Wednesday, we'll do a live in the morning and finish this up. I'll post on my community tab. I always post on my community tab and my Instagram stories. If you guys are ever wondering where I am, check those. Or if I'm having a sale or anything else is going on or I'm going live, I always post on those two places first. So it's YouTube related, obviously. Okay. Now let's see, who is Kylie's next boyfriend or after Travis? It's going to take Kylie a while to move on, actually. We'll hear about her being around a bunch of people, but I just keep getting, it's like she doesn't get past the talking stage with anybody for probably a good year after her and Travis are finally done. Kylie really wants to get married. I don't feel like she really is like stuck on having any more kids, because she kind of feels good where she's at right now. Like, I have one of each. They're both young. I'm young. If I want to have more later on, I can. But she really, truly wants to find her person and get married. This girl deals with so much loneliness. She's always lonely. She hates being by herself. So, let's see. She's going to end up with somebody who's more on the executive side of the music industry. Like, instead of dating the guy that's on the label, I'm going to date the guy that runs the label next. I don't feel that being like her person that she's going to spend the rest of her life with, but it'll be a good relationship for her for a while. They might even get married. It just wouldn't last forever. Yeah, this guy's going to be a cheater too. What is there with her and Chloe that they just go out with guys that cheat all the time? Well, I'm not surprised. They're the two with the lowest amount of self-esteem in that family. So Kylie will still have another kid in the future, but she'll be the one that does it. I don't feel her having another child with Travis, though. And Spirit's talking about this being one of those things where it's like, my first set of kids are teenagers, and now I'm having another baby, because I do feel like this happens more in her 30s, and it's kind of a surprise. Like, oh, Kylie Jenner had a kid, another kid, and it just kind of comes out of nowhere. So she will get married and she will have a kid, but they'll get divorced. But he'll at least have enough money this time around. So, whew, that's interesting. Um, yeah, they are. I mean, you know what? This is the thing when it comes to this family. Karma will get them. They've harmed way too many people, scammed people, took advantage of people, all of that. Their karma's always been on the way. It's just that it was never going to be this one big swift cancellation and they're all gone. It's a decline. Nobody wants to send you free clothes anymore. Now your ratings are dropping. People aren't supporting your businesses. It's one of those things where it's just like one after the other, things start to like slow down, not be as big. Nobody cares so much anymore. Those kinds of things. And then all of a sudden, it's just like, oh, they're not relevant anymore and nobody cares, and they kind of just disappear. Or, you know, I'm sure Kim will still be desperado for attention, but I just don't feel people really giving it to her as much. Which, listen, I never sit here and worry about or pray for anybody's downfall or bad karma to hit them. I will just say this, though. I hope it does before Kim tries to get into politics. Because nobody in their right mind wants that girl running for any kind of office. And we already voted Donald Trump in once, so God knows people might be dumb enough. Celebrity worship is such a crazy, out of control thing sometimes. So, you know, and this is the thing, they thrive off attention. They want attention, relevancy, and power more than even money. Money is just another way for them to have that, but it is not their only motivation. It's just we have to have the money so we can keep up the lifestyle, to keep up the fame, power, relevance, attention, everything that we're getting. So, what is the worst thing in the world to somebody that only wants attention? People stop giving it to you. And in Spirit keeps talking about being like a prolonged suffering. Like, oh, Kim, just keep being thirstier day after day after day until you're so parched and dehydrated because nobody cares about you anymore. That would honestly hurt her worse. And that's the thing, too, guys. People are never really truly canceled most of the time. And I think it's stupid anyways. I think we need accountability culture, not cancel culture. But look how many people get canceled and then pop out and they're bigger and better than ever. It's better when people just slowly fade out because then they usually stay gone and then it's really hard for them to regain any relevance. When you go out on a bang and then you come back in and it's like, guess what? I'm not that bad person you guys thought I was anymore. Let me show you how good I am now. There's still, you know, too much middle ground that you could actually go and pop off again. So, okay, last question about Kylie and Tyga, and then I have to get off of here because, like I said, I have to do a reading for somebody. But check the community tab. Check my Instagram stories. I'll let y'all know when I'm going to come back on live to finish these. Okay. Well, that's also why Spirit told me to wait to do Kim and Chris's because they want to get into that. I mean, we already did a reading on the whole Ray J situation if he was telling the truth and all that, but I feel like Spirit probably has new information. Kylie still talks to Tyga, you guys, here and there. It's not anything Like, I don't feel like it's like them, like, really, like, a lot of reminiscing or even that they have long conversations. But I do get, every once in a while, like, if he puts out a good song or she does something, they'll text each other, like, congratulations, or you did a good job. It's kind of that friendly exes thing. So, Spirit saying Kylie wonders a lot if she would have been happier if she'd stayed with Tyga, and if that was really like her person and she should have tried it, or that maybe she would have missed out on like some of the like more not good moments that she's had with Travis Scott. But the thing is, Travis is more famous, and that was really what they were trying to tie Kylie to when she got with him. Um, Kylie really wanted to marry Tyga. She thought she was going to have her family with him. She really thought, if I'm going to have kids, it's going to be with him. I mean, obviously, she did have a kid with him, but, they can't tell the rest of the world that. But she really did think they were going to get married and be together forever. And there's still a part of her that, revisits that idea quite often and asks herself, like, maybe I should have stayed there. Maybe I should go back to that someday. Maybe I should give it another chance, but I don't see them ending up together. Because she's going to end up with that other guy. And I just don't feel Tyga wanting to go back into that family either. It's like, I've moved on with my life. And so, I don't feel like Kylie's still stuck on him or in love with him. It's just, how it is. When you have left a long relationship, you always wonder, did I make a mistake? And I think it is easy when you're in a shitty relationship or your new relationship is having a moment for you to think, okay, maybe I should have tried to stick it out with my ex. I mean, Kylie only has, what, 2 exes anyway. I don't think one of them dates or women anymore. So she still thinks about him. She still cares about him, but they won't get back together. Oh, geez. You know what's so funny, Darkness of Chaotic Waters? I literally was just thinking earlier today, whatever happened to Pete? We haven't seen him since him and Kim broke up. Because he was getting shoved down our freaking throats. The blogs were constantly posting him. It was, oh my God, Kim and Pete, Kim and Pete, Kim and Pete. And it's like, as soon as they broke up, they like put out this story that he was supposedly going to trauma therapy because of Kanye. And then we just like never saw or heard from him ever again. And I was literally just wondering, like, did he go to an inpatient trauma therapy place and he's in there right now? Like, where has this guy been? So apparently he was filming Taco Bell commercials. Was it for the Mexican pizza? Because I don't know about you guys' local Taco Bells, but the Mexican pizza was back at ours, so we got one the other day. Just for the sake of, they might take it away again, so we better grab one just to say we got ours and we got our opportunity while it was there. But that is really funny. So, anyways, guys, I love you all so much. Make sure you like the video on your way out. If you wanted to book your own personal private reading with me, psychicbellalove.com. I did lower all the prices, so you don't need any coupon codes, but new clients can use new at checkout for 10% off, and you can use medium at checkout for $45 off mediumship appointments. The new coupon code it's only for new clients, but that's a regular, like, never expiring thing. The mediumship special expires tomorrow night at midnight. So make sure you get on, and if you just want to get on the schedule this month anyways, book ASAP because I don't have as many slots open. So when people are already taking them up, you wanted to make sure that you got on. And I will see you guys again very soon. So, like I said, check the community tab, check my Instagram stories, Psychic Bella Love everywhere. And you can always keep up with me there. I love you guys. I hope everybody has a good night, and I will see you again soon.